Hey there, it's probably pretty clear to you guys why I'm not a marketing professional. So sorry if that last video was a little bit rough. I couldn't get the report section to pop up in my sandbox session, so I apologize. This is on a different video. Um, but here is, I'm just in a sandbox company here, and I have gone to the reports session, and you can see here's all the standard reports. They have a section where you can build custom reports, which essentially means if I come into this balance sheet and I change certain things where let's say I want to show years, I want to do it in cash basis, and I want to show a previous year, I can run this out exactly how I want to see it. You'll see that it added a different column, and I can hit Save Customization, and I can make this to where it's visible just to my firm. I can make it visible to my client if they also have access. I can put these in groups. So you can customize reports however you want and save them. But the part that I want to go over for our deliverables is the section that's management reports. So QuickBooks automatically provides you some canned reports in all of these systems. And I'm just going to hit the preview button and show you what they look like. So this is the packet that QuickBooks puts together where you can load your client's logo into the system right here. Apparently, because this is company B, they've loaded B as the logo. And it makes this really nice. This is a PDF document that it's going to say management report on it, and all of this is populated based on settings that you put in there, and then it's automatically going to populate the date depending upon what date you picked out of your report. And let's scroll down. It automatically adds a table of contents, and you can see that they have some reports listed here. And then down here is a profit and loss. And since we're in a sandbox company, I ran this for the current year, so it's not showing anything because I think that all of the data is back in 2018 in these sandbox companies because QuickBooks doesn't update them. But this is a profit and loss statement that should there be information, it would show up. I might run this for a different period. And then the AP aging detail report is one that they include in here. And in this particular example, that's really, they have an expenses by vendor report that they're showing here. Um, so they've added all of these reports, and you can hit save to PDF, and this will open in just a really nice PDF document. It will put for management use only down here so that people don't assume that these are audited financial reports. Um, and you can add all of this information in there, which is really great to set up. I'm going to close this and then show you how you can change one of these. So I'm just going to, on this company overview one, I'm just going to hit this and say duplicate. And what we normally do is we will come in here and I'll hit the edit button, and I will just change this to, again, my firm's name is Berry Hill Consulting, so we will normally put BHC here in the system so that we know that these are the ones that we customize, BHC Financials. And you can change the cover style if you want to have it look like this. They've got some different options that you can put in here that makes it look really nice. You can change the logo. To change the logo, you would go over here where you see this X. Once you have this window closed, you can go into the gearbox and change that for your client. You can change what this says. If you want to call this monthly financials report, you can do that, and it will automatically populate over here. Your company name here, you can see that this is set up to automatically pull the company name that you have saved in their settings. If you run into a situation where you have a company that has a legal name that you want to have on their QuickBooks things, but maybe in this financials report you want to show they're doing business as name, you can overwrite this and put whatever you want to in there. And then for the period ended, this report date is automatically going to pull in whatever the date is that you've set for this. So you can see here my reporting period is set to this year. But if I do this week to date, you can see that that changed to December 19th because it's the 19th this week. You can come in here and do this for last month, and you'll see that it'll automatically change for November of last month. You can set this to whatever you need to. The prepared date is just going to be whatever date you're running this report, so that will automatically update. And then we always like to type our name in here on the file so that it shows up in here that we prepared this. And in some cases, if I feel like these are being shared externally with lenders or something, you can put some verbiage in here to let them know you're available to take on other clients if you would like to. The table of contents, you can decide whether you want to change or not, and you can change the name of it, but it will automatically create it for you. And then this is kind of our Bible page where we do everything, where we actually call this our accountant's letter. And then this is where it's just a blank area where you can put in all of the information that we talked about on that slide beforehand, where we, reinforce our engagement terms. We go in and we talk about what we need from them. We tell them what we're providing here. Um, we put all of our content in this thing, and you can see here this little button lets you automatically drop in some pre-populated things in here. But we structure this in such a way that we say, please find enclosed your financial statements. And then one of the things that we like to do is we say these financials have been reconciled through, and we will put that report end date on there. And one of the things that we like to do is we list every single financial account that we're booking transactions for. So every um, checking account, every credit card account, and all of those. And out to the side, we put the last date that we have reconciled that. Because, for example, if we have a client that they are responsible for sending us those PDF statements that we're reconciling to, and they haven't done that in a couple of months, we want to be very clear, just in case they're sending these forms off, that their financial statements might be missing information because we have not been able to confirm we have everything in there. So we will say the following accounts have been reconciled through the date shown, and we will put, checking account 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will put out here the last date that we reconciled it. So if they haven't sent me a statement since the end of October and I haven't done a November one, we note that, and then out to the side, I will just type, please send us the November statement ASAP, because that's something that in the engagement letter they're supposed to be doing. Um, and so we have just a section up here where we talk about, how complete this stuff is. Another thing that we like to include is like it's kind of like the footnotes that you would see on a publicly traded company's financial statements, where they kind of discuss how the accounting is done. But so many of our customers are small businesses who are not doing we are not doing their books according to GAAP, which is accrual basis and has very particular rules about how revenue is recognized, how expenses are, how allowances are put in there. We normally, the people that we are working with, do not have reporting requirements that require them to have statements according to GAAP. So we do like to include a little bit of a note on how are we calculating their revenue. In a lot of cases, it's just based on the cash that is coming in. But if they do have AR, but they're a cash basis payer, we do talk about how their financial statements are actually in like a modified cash setting, where yes, we're doing AR and AP, but we're running that cash basis, so their revenues are reflected based on what has been deposited to the bank and not necessarily what has been earned, aka invoiced. um, and I think that I've done a little bit of this in my how-to videos, and I'm happy to go into more detail during a mentorship program if you'd like to do that. Another thing that we do include in here is we include links to our Calendly calendars. Whoever their assigned staff accountant is, we will say, please look these over and contact us if you have any questions. And here's a link to book an appointment, right? For those clients that their package includes an optional review session with us, we will note that in here and tell them you can go out to the calendar and pick a time that works best for you for us to walk through these. I will sometimes include, management discussion in here about, hey, I'm noticing this weird trend. Can you confirm? Or, hey, this looks a little bit funny to me. Can you confirm that we have everything we need? Because a lot of times, for example, I will see a payment to a credit card coming out of their bank and being paid on a credit card, and it maybe is a credit card that we don't have in their books. So being able to put that in there and say, it appears that you got a new credit card. Can you confirm that this is a business credit card? And if it is, we need you to send us, login details so we can get those statements, or help us get it set up in the system so we can start including those. So any kind of notes we put in here, and then we also reinforce those engagement terms. But we set all of this up. We have a standard process that I will share, um, a redacted copy of one in the files on what our note looks like. I'll redact all of the individual information about our client, because obviously we don't want to disclose our client's personal data on there. But I'll put one of the examples of what our letter looks like, just so you have an example. And then make sure that you personalize this, however, whatever flavor of company you are, or what reflects your company's personality, for lack of a better term. Put it in this letter. It's fantastic. And then here comes kind of the meat of the report, where in this reports area, this is where you determine which canned reports that QuickBooks makes, or those customized reports that you've set up in a certain way, how you include them. So you'll see that in this particular overview, there's a balance sheet and a profit and loss. You can drag them. I always like to have the balance sheet first, profit and loss, and then, we like to have a cash flow statement. So when you hit this drop down box, this is going to be any reports that are set up. They'll say standard if they're canned reports. And then if you've customized one, they'll say customized report. But I want a cash flow statement in here as well. And you'll see that this automatically sets to last month. But if you, we will regularly in a lot of ours show a profit and loss for last month, which is normally the month that we, for example, November closed on the 30th, and we're normally getting them their November financial statements in like the second week of December, right? Because we have to have time to put all of that together, reconcile things, do the reviews. So we will regularly include a profit and loss that just has last month, so that would have November in it. And then I will come over here and also run one that will be year to date, like this year to last month, so that they have one that just contains the activity for November, and then they will have one that shows them how they're doing year to date. If your client does budgeting, there are some budget to actual reports that are really great. Another thing you can do is include this compare previous year, compare previous period options in here that you can put in there. AR aging reports are things that we include fairly often, AR and AP. The other things that we include on almost all of our client files is we will set up a customized report um, out here where we will go and pull a transaction list by transaction detail by account, because we maintain an account called um, Ask My Accountant or Ask My Client, where if we are going through and we're cleaning their bank feeds and we run across a transaction that we can't tell based on the bank statement description what it is, and we need to ask them about it, instead of having to do that every single time we run across those, we will just code those all to an account called a suspense account called Ask My Accountant or Ask My Client. And we will then at the end of the month include that list of the things that we need more information on. And in that notes section where we were detailing everything, we will tell them, you need to go and look at this Ask My Accountant report and send us more information so we know where to code this. Like, explain to them that there should be no balance in there. And so we will set up a transaction detail by account report where we go in and we say where the account name equals Ask My Accountant, so that it only pulls up that particular, and it looks like this one doesn't have it because I'm in a sandbox. But we will set a customized report up that will, and we always have it year to date because if they happen to miss a month, we still need that information, and so we'll continue to include it on the report until it's clear. So we include that in 100% of those because that's us telling them, hey, we need your help to actually get you good, complete statements. The other custom report that we put in almost everybody's thing is we will run a owner distribution or an owner equity report. So because we work with a lot of small businesses, we will periodically see on the business credit card or on the business bank accounts that they will have used their business card for something that isn't a qualified business deduction or it's a personal expense. And we will code that to a distribution account and we just include that report because we want them to confirm to us, maybe we saw something on there that was to Walgreens and it looked like it was just a personal purchase. So we put it in there, but maybe there was a valid reason that was a business expense. So we ask that they review all of those things that we've judged are not business expenses that maybe should be included. So we always include that because we definitely want to get all of those expenses included for their tax purposes because they get to deduct that. So those are the two reports, but this is a great little thing because you can set this up and you'll see over here that you can export as a PDF if you prefer to attach it to an email or load it to a portal. We do that now, but we used to go in and do a send where we would just put the email address in here of the person, the client, and then this is going to automatically copy me on it. But if you want to, like I can copy one of my employees or I can include more than one partner. And then if you want to change the financial statements, I always like to include the month of the statements that we're representing. And then if you want a type of custom message here, you can do that and then change the file name on it. So this will email directly to them, which is great. The thing we didn't like about this and why we now export and put in a portal is number one, that portal, we're trying to start training our clients to use that 100% of the time to pick up files and things from us so that we aren't having to dig through email with 75 different clients. Um, but you can export this into PDF or into, a document. I actually don't think that the formatting is great with the document, which is why we haven't done a lot of that. But this is just really great because again, it's free to accountant users. If you sign up as an accountant user, this just shows up as part of the options to set this up. So it actually helps you make a really professional looking management report without you having to run all of these reports individually, piece them together in like an Adobe Acrobat or something and make them all pretty like that. You can set these up to look fairly professional with minimal work, which is great. And it gives you a great communication tool for you to, run through all of those things we talked about in the deliverables, where we're providing them the information we need. We are asking them for information that we need from them. We are maybe marketing and selling additional things or advertising any kind of discounts we're offering for referrals. We're reinforcing how we would like to do things. And then it's just a really good tool to have. I always like to copy myself on it or have a copy of it because then should you ever end up in an uncomfortable conversation where you're having to tell them, hey, you're not really being responsive enough for us to do this, or you need to track down, you have that physical record of when you sent that and when that error or something was introduced. So really a great tool. This is really why we enjoy using QuickBooks Online. And because we have a standard template in here, this is one of the reasons why we made the decision a couple of years ago to only do QuickBooks Online, just because it's easier for me to train my clients to, or my staff to, I already have a template that's set up on all of the things that I want to include and what reports are mandatory to be included in this because it's part of what I'm selling as my package, but also give them the flexibility to customize that as they need to. So really great tool. Hope this was really helpful.